We're free, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce. And guys, we are at the final episode of this leg of our Archie journey.
Holy crap.
Today, we review the last comics that Ken Penders ever wrote for the series. And I guess wrote in general. He keeps threatening to release something and then not doing it.
Threatening, that's a good way to put it.
Wait, after this, he didn't work on any other comics?
Nope. He's gone
full indie, I guess.
He's been on the Lara Sue Chronicles train ever since 159. He has been supposedly working on it in the background, but he hasn't released anything.
Jesus Christ, that's like 15 years.
Yes. More even. It'll be 20 years.
Oh yeah, that's closer to 20 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, okay, that's actually never happening. Like, I already knew that, but like, that just proves it.
Yeah, no, at this point, I gotta agree.
Well, I don't want to date this video too heavily, because as of right now, he keeps saying, I'm getting ready to send my 25 years later reprint to the printers. I just have to finish all 8 of these bonus pages that I'm drawing for it. And it's funny, because he's like, okay, I'm giving myself a deadline here, and then he just keeps pushing it up over and over again.
It's just talk. Like, don't worry.
Yeah, it really does seem like talk at this point.
In any case, speaking of talking, let's talk about our first issue of the day, Sonic the Hedgehog number 156. What is wrong with your faces?
Oh, I love this cover so much.
Cover. Yeah.
This is an amazing cover. It's so just...
You just look at it, you know exactly what you're in for.
You really do.
Sonic's face looks alright. Everybody else...
Fine enough.
Maybe Rotor is okay, just because Sanford didn't...
We don't see his face. Tails doesn't look awful. I think it's just his teeth that look really weird.
The weird lines above his eyes are odd, too. It reminds me of,
I guess, yeah.
Artifacts with algorithmically generated images.
I guess, yeah. The true centerpiece here, though, is Sally.
Oh, yes.
Why do you look like that? What are you doing?
She looks like a pug.
Yeah. Alright,
Anyway, let's talk about the actual plot.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of Sanford Greed covers to make fun of, even in the Flynn era.
Oh boy.
No, not that many, but some. Anyway.
Hey, at least we have some.
This is Line of Succession, Part 2, Penders and Fry. After Sally is married off to Antoine, it's up to Sonic and a secret ally to expose the conspiracy that's controlling the kingdom and killing the king. That is some alliterative dialogue. Yeah, so Sonic wanted to stop that wedding, and he doesn't.
Not only does he doesn't, he just gets there late.
Yeah, well, he's gonna crash the reception, basically.
Yeah.
With his mysterious shadowed ally. Did you guys try to guess who it was before it was revealed?
I didn't really try too hard, to be honest.
I should have seen what it was, but because it's written by Penders, I was like, oh, it's probably like Locke or some nonsense.
Oh,
although
God.
I don't know why he'd be in that house, now that I think about it.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Sally. No.
Oh, God. No, he's too busy being with Rouge.
That's true.
I don't want Locke to be with anybody.
No, not. I agree.
Yeah, so, Sonic runs. He does indeed. They do say he missed the wedding, so he didn't just sit it out, I guess.
No, he went off to go find help, and he missed it because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he breaks into the reception, and he's like, Sally, no, you can't do this. It's a little bit pathetic of Sonic, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you're gonna knock heads, just do that,
Yeah.
I didn't really notice because I was too focused on the fact that Sally is so out of character. She's like, oh, I must be supportive of my husband. Take Sonic away. That idiot. She's acting all like high and mighty or whatever.
Right.
Which, if it weren't for the fact this was written by Penders, I would seriously be suspecting that she was under some sort of spell or something.
I mean,
yeah.
I'd expect her to not even be Sally. I'd suspect her to be like anti-Sally.
That would have made perfect sense, actually, in retrospect.
Honestly, yeah, kind of.
Think about that. A plot of evil Antoine and evil Sally to take over the alternate kingdom. That would be genius!
That would actually be a pretty interesting idea.
The thing that I was thinking this whole time is that the second she got married, she shifted into her 25 years later self and is like just concerned with like, oh,
Yeah,
me and
kind
my
of.
husband have to plan the dinner party. But I like your guys' idea. That's better.
Yeah, this isn't even Sally. This is Does Auntie Sally have a different name yet? I honestly don't remember.
Not until the Flynn era.
Okay, all right.
Anywho, so big hero moments need to happen. So the secret helper that Sonic talked to rides a horse into the reception room. I'm not sure how he got it through the doors. Oh, actually, he's not in the reception room. Sorry,
Yeah,
No,
I was looking at the page and I thought he was coming in there, but
It does kind of look like he is.
actually, it's a bit strange because the guards take Sonic away. They're monkeys now. Normally, they're bears.
That's true.
But they take Sonic away, and then Patch goes running up to the king's chambers to administer the final dose of poison, and then Secret Friend gets here. It's funny to imagine him being like, all right, I know the reception is going well, but I need to kill somebody first. Like, why do you need to do this now? I guess he might recover too fast otherwise.
He might recover. Won't.
He's anxious to seal the deal.
Yeah, he wants to seal the deal because Max is still just in a coma. He could wake up.
Yeah. But yeah, so big hero moments need to happen, and we do get revealed in this next page that the guy Sonic got here was Prince Elias.
Yeah, like I said, I should have seen.
Yeah,
that
I
coming,
really
so it
should have.
makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I totally should have seen it.
And it is funny, right, that Sonic is suspicious of Patch, Elias is also suspicious of Patch. Neither of them actually know that it's Patch, though. They both just think that Antoine sucks now.
You just think Antoine's a prick? I mean,
Later details seem to indicate that Sonic was suspecting at this point that he was evil Antoine, but just wasn't sure.
I guess, yeah.
But for Elias, it's like, did he just always hate Antoine? I don't know.
I mean, they haven't.
I don't know
interacted
how
all
much
that
he
much.
knows Antoine.
Yeah, I don't think they've really interacted enough for Elias to have much of an opinion on Antoine.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like doing Sonic a favor because he's like, man, I kind of sucked towards you when I was king, so I'm trying to help out.
I think that is actually part of it.
Well, and they do catch Antoine in the king's room with a friggin' syringe full of poison, and somehow he manages to bluff his way out of that situation.
Well, they didn't actually see the hypodermic needle.
I know, but like when they catch him up there, I don't know.
But
I feel like they connect the dots.
Well, I mean, they could connect the dots of why the fuck is Antoine up here.
Yeah, like you should be at the reception, buddy.
Yeah, you just got married, bro. Go, do married.
I
people
think
things.
this is the point actually when Sonic goes from suspecting to like, yeah, I know it's you, but he doesn't
Probably.
reveal him because he wants to reveal him in a different way later.
Yeah, he wants to make it a big deal. Do it in front of everyone.
Well,
Yeah.
and Patch is sneaky, as we've seen in this arc.
Yeah.
He might find some way to turn it around if there aren't witnesses.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, that honestly does make sense.
Well, speaking of doing it in front of everybody, Elias's strategy here is to make a big scene of just running into the reception and saying, "I'm the king now, baby."
He's not wrong. He never gave up his right. He can just come in and say, "Nah, fam, I want to be king."
But it's hilarious that like there's no big like reaction or blow.
No, there isn't. No, the queen just says, cool."
Imagine being Sally in this, that you've been forced into this arranged marriage with a guy you don't love who's been kind of shitty the last few months. And you're like, well, fine, I'm doing it for my dad who's dying, I'm doing it for my kingdom, I gotta be the queen now. And then your brother's just like, no, you're not. So it's like,
I mean, if anything, I feel like the main feeling would be relief.
Yes, but the wedding already happened, I bet they wouldn't reverse that if this played out differently.
Oh, yeah.
So, first of all, this is a very funny moment, but it does make a lot of sense, I think. Because first of all, the queen is just like the king in that she is like, this is a bad situation, but I guess this is the best I can get out of it. But then when Elias shows up, then they're like, oh, perfect. Now the stars could have lied. Yes, I will jump right on this change of situation.
Thank God my real child is here.
Basically, she doesn't even blink twice. And then as for Sally's reaction, she is stressed for multiple reasons, I would think, even though she's not acting like it at all. She should be stressed about the wedding. She should be stressed about having to be the monarch officially full time. And so that's at least
Yeah.
half of that burden taken away in this moment.
Yeah. It's funny that we have so many writers giving Sally various emotional breakdowns, and I feel like it would almost make sense here, but they don't do it.
It
Yeah,
would.
yeah, it would.
No,
I think
I'm not
she might
asking
have.
for more of that. I'm just saying, like, place them more carefully if you're gonna do it at all.
I don't know. Maybe if they're gonna do one here, maybe make this the last one.
Well, it would be the last one since this is one of
Yeah.
the last. Anyway, but yeah. So Elias is like, "I'll be king now," and Lycia is like, "Fuck yeah, all right, king him immediately."
Mm-hmm.
And nobody says no backseas. Just yeah. I don't know if he talked this over with his wife and stepson. They didn't seem to come with him.
I would assume that he did.
I'm sure that he did.
That would be
maybe.
bad writing if he didn't.
Well, it's this comic, so. Well, because let's talk about the big moment here, because Patches, he seems very conciliatory and is like, oh, that's fine, I don't need to be king. And his gambit here is probably the most shoddily constructed plan ever, which is shake my hand, I've got the needle up my sleeve like a friggin' Assassin's Creed character.
So, yeah, this is honestly uncharacteristically hasty, but I'll forgive it.
I mean,
because
he's having
it's-
come up with a plan on the fly.
Yeah, it's completely out of the blue. He's like, what the heck? I was like on the verge of victory. This is stupid. Oh, okay, maybe this will work. Like, he at this point, he's kind of just acting out of desperation.
I can only
Yeah.
I can only credit this writing wise under the impression that this is the best he can do of a bad situation, because there's no way that this would work even if he did do that, because
No, it's true.
No.
It's true.
I assume that in this syringe is the same poison he's been giving Max, which means that
Which
if
is
he
a
did
slow poison.
prick Elias with it, it wouldn't kill him.
No, it might make him feel a little, I don't know, woozy, if it does anything.
Yeah, because he has to have been getting Max for at least weeks with this, if not months.
Right. I think
Um,
he's been doing it as long as they were traveling, which
yeah.
is like, who knows how long that's actually been.
Yeah, I have no idea. Time
Yeah.
scale in this comics is weird to figure out.
Yeah.
But this is where Sonic is like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you. You had the needle. Take this."
You
And-
you put it so like low energy, like low excitement. I thought this was a pretty good moment, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, I think it's a pretty solid moment.
I like Sonic jumping on Patch, tackling him, battling him fist
Well,
to fist.
That's right up the alley for Sonic's character.
Yeah.
It's fine. I guess I just didn't have a good way of saying it out
I-
loud.
I do like also at the bottom of the page after he tackles Patch, he specifically says one of the reasons he put together that he's not Antoine is because he points out Antoine does not have a killer instinct, whereas Patch was immediately going to just try and kill Elias.
I guess, but like Antoine wouldn't try to kill his friends anyway.
Well, no, yeah, but
Well,
Well,
this is the weird thing is that he says something along the lines of, the real Antoine could never do this, which is funny because this was originally meant to be the real Antoine up until a couple issues ago.
The real Antoine.
well,
Okay, but
let's
the
be
plot
fair.
was changed.
yeah,
It
the
not
plot
Yes,
was
I
changed
know.
because Penders started writing it. I don't think I'm assuming Baller's plan was not for Antoine to try and kill the king.
I assume not. We'll look at some of their plans in a
Right.
bonus episode, but I don't think that was one of them.
That would be crazy if it was.
I guess it's kind of just the same as what we went through with Locke last week, where he was like, "Oh, that's the evil Sonic," because he is trying to bash Sonic's skull. in with a
Trying to
rock.
fuck. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of the same. Hey, it's an accurate way to figure something out.
Yeah, but
I'm just pleased because they screwed up Antoine, and it was a very funny way to fix things. But
It
I'm
was
glad
yeah.
to kick out bad Antoine, in an explosive fashion.
Yeah, no, if they were going to kick him out, this is probably my favorite way to do it. Just beat his ass.
yeah. So Yeah, we get status quo Antoine back here. Sonic beats up Patch, and in a very, very swift, like, 4 panels, whips out his universe manipulation thing, and, well, I guess, yeah, he throws Patch back in his own universe and takes Antoine from that one.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so, the Antoine we're all used to is finally home after...
Thank God.
Yes.
God, I'm trying to think. The last time we would have seen him was in 125. At least as far as it has been retconned that this was never the original Antoine.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But that's good. I was never on board with Ballers trying to make him edgy and jerky.
No, the only way I would have been on board with that is if Ballers also had a plan on bringing him back to normal.
If he remained battle hardened, that would be
yeah,
one thing.
sure.
I don't want him to
keep
be
him battle
joyless,
hardened,
but
no, keep him battle hardened, but also bring back the Antoine that we like.
Yeah, bring back the fact that he can be nice ever.
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine with him, being battle hardened and having to deal with the fact that he's been in a war. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Antoine is still a nice person.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, best thing the Penders could have done, bringing him back, and even putting him back with Bunny.
Thank God.
That was the biggest loss of the whole change.
It really was. Like, goddamn.
Antoine and Bunny became and will remain the most popular pairing in the franchise for the simple reason that they are stable.
They have a healthy relationship. They're not like...
Yeah. And I am not sad at all that this has changed back to the way it was before.
Oh God, no! I'm so happy to see that.
They still mug us with shots of Sally and Tails watching Sonic and Fiona go off, though. So
whatever.
This is such a bizarre pairing. I can't believe they're committing to it. Like, it comes out of nowhere.
It is a weird
this
pairing,
is a thing now. You better get used to it. Like, what?
I mean, I guess my theory is if they're going to push it, at least write it well.
They haven't so far. Came out of nowhere.
Well, here's the thing: they've done basically nothing with the relationship so far, other than kind of implying that it's an actual relationship now.
Fiona doesn't have much of a personality, and there's absolutely no indication as to why she would want to be with Sonic, even because for vestiges of a character.
I don't know, because Sonic must have a girlfriend.
Well, again, I think that Penders was planning for this to be a temporary affair, and he wanted to have Sonic go after Rouge, Amy, and Mina eventually before circling back to Sally.
Which is an idea.
It doesn't end up happening because Penders leaves too early, so...
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, you can never not be happy about that.
Yeah, so, a weird story, but a good enough conclusion other than that last bit.
Yeah.
But we have another story here, which is...
Well, don't forget, Next Shadow is back.
Yeah, well, whatever.
It's not Next.
He's not really been gone.
He really hasn't.
It's a weird tagline.
He's been here off and on pretty much every the last few weeks.
Yeah, like he's finally a regular.
Yeah. It's like, I
nobody knows what to do with Shadow is the thing. But we don't have Shadow just yet. Instead, we have our own brooding anti-hero with The Price of Flame Part 2, starring Dulcie.
My favorite brooding anti-hero, Dulcie the Dragon.
Gallagher and Nowini. Dulcie regains consciousness to find Vesuvio in chaos as Robian dragons attack her clan. She may have to sustain more than just emotional abuse in order to save them.
Jesus.
Okay, I am getting really ticked off at this total disregard for continuity. The robot dragons can actually roboticize with ray guns.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me? Robotization is supposed to be a rare thing at this point. Right. And they're just throwing it around now. Like, normally I respect these comics for the continuity, but they don't care. Like, oh, whatever, put it in. Nobody will mind. I mind very much.
And that's the thing. This is a bad example of, to me at least, of rule of cool.
So
they just want something that looks cool, but it fucks with the continuity.
It's more than that. I think that this is another inventory story. It's like everything with Chalk-On and having to retcon so-and-so to be roboticized by Anonymous. I don't know if they ever even bring up these in later issues. I assume that if they did, they would say that Anonymous did it. Him giving them laser guns that roboticize people is incredibly ridiculous. But again, this was almost certainly written either before or without the knowledge that people are not supposed to be able to be roboticized normally.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, I would have to assume the way the BEM did it is such that it's supposed to be that the planet can't support roboticization, not that just specifically Robotnik can't.
Eggman just can't figure it out anymore. They just removed that information from his brain.
That wasn't what happened, and yes, the first thing you said, Devin, was what I thought was the case.
Yeah, something's going on that planet doesn't let it happen anymore.
I understand that this is a bank story or whatever. I would have forgiven that once or twice. This is like...
They've done this plenty of times.
The sixth time or something like that? It's ridiculous. Yeah. This is too much. And the logical thing to do here would to be like, well, okay, fine. If you're going to put in these stories, then make it a point and try to integrate it into the other plot lines, being like, okay, maybe robotization is coming back. But by and large, they don't attempt to explain it. And that's what ticks me off.
No, I think I'm trying to remember that until Flynn's, revival of the concept, these might be the last Robians we ever see.
Interesting.
That was about right.
I mean, other than Jules, obviously.
Well,
yeah, so that's very, very dumb. Anyway, Dulcie has to fight some robot dragons for a little while. There's not much for me to say about this. Do we want to talk about this panel where she gets hit on the head and hallucinates friggin' abusive dragon boyfriend?
I don't get why. Why? Fucking why?
It's just kind of mean.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if they're doing it as a joke, because I can't tell with Gallagher, because he writes things very jokey, but maybe not on purpose.
Gallagher's writing feels... I mean, it feels just like the early comics.
Pretty much. It's not far off. Anyway, so the Elder Dragon shows up and, like, completely shits on her and blames her for the invasion, even though they were here before she got here?
Well, I mean, his reasoning is that the fact that she's gone out and exposed herself, or the existence of the dragons...
Yeah, but they punished
It's not a good reasoning.
Last week, and then I assume she never came back here until then, so...
Well, yeah, no, that's,
If they have not been under constant threat since then, it's like, it doesn't really, And it's fucking crazy, because this attack... They are being attacked, and possibly, being roboticized or dying, and they still have time to chain her up during that.
Well, so I think they're like... I think the attack is coming in waves.
I guess?
So, that's why they had time to chain her up.
Maybe. Still dumb.
There is a line about the Robians saying pull back.
Yeah.
Well, I do think they retreat for a little bit.
They do retreat and come back with more.
Not much later, because, I mean, they're still fighting as she's chained up. She's giving us commentary before a robot dragon gets knocked into her.
Timescale is weird in these comics. Either way, you want to talk about what happens after that?
Yes, so, in Dulcie's own words, the collision yanked the gold ring out of my nose. Does that mean you just tore your septum out?
That's what it sounds like, and then
it seems like.
She just cauterizes it.
There's no way you could pull out the nose ring without doing that. Well, let me think about this.
And she says...
Well, I guess unless it, like, breaks in the front and just gets pulled out.
Well, how is it attached in the first place? It must be...
Well, it's got to be, like, shoved in as a rod, bent around, and then, like, melted together.
Yes, that's what I thought, because otherwise she would have just taken it off when they chained her up. So... Sure. Yes, that is what happened, and it's very nonchalant, like, oh, I'll just fix it, cauterize, done. No, what? She should be in a lot of pain.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, like, fucking Full Metal Alchemist, like when they're fighting Lust and Mustang gets cut, you know, he has fire powers too, but they show
Right.
exactly how much it fucking hurts to cauterize your own wound.
Oh yeah, of course
Also-
it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Dulcie is also not a battle-hardened soldier. Whatever.
That's true.
Well,
That's true.
Not that I would want that depicted just have it break the ring or something.
Yeah, just have the ring like break in the front, or like it just like disintegrates or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
But so Dulcie comes to the rescue, and well, so she starts, and all of the other dragons work with her to collectively blast the Robians with fire breath. I don't know why they weren't doing this before, but they do that.
Because they needed someone to tell them.
They
And
were
they
blasting them before. I don't know what
Were
the
they?
difference is.
Were
Yeah,
they?
that's why they were treated
Oh
initially.
yeah. Oh yeah, they were. They suddenly like set a fire.
Okay,
or
but
something.
we need to talk about this. They melt them.
Yeah,
Oop.
they murder them, and then their spirits come up out of the fucking lava.
So no talk of de-roboticization or anything. They
Nah,
just fucking
fam.
kill them.
Well, to be fair, they don't have deroboticization. No one but the Bem do.
I know, but they don't even consider.
I know what
it.
you mean. No,
Like-
I know.
It's not even on the table. And importantly, they killed them. And Dulcie says, we killed them, including my mom. Dulcie killed her mom.
Oh fuck.
So the thing is, like, okay, yeah, what really gets this is how it happens, and then 2 seconds later, they're like, oh, it's fine, with a very sloppy reason. Because, like, the series doesn't actually grapple with this very much, which is kind of
No.
surprising. You would think that if you turn someone into a robotic slave, you would use it to fight against their loved ones, like, because then
Yeah.
they wouldn't want to hurt them. Robotic,
Sure.
like, never employed that strategy, which has always been strange to me.
And
But
the one time he does.
the one time it comes up like, oh no, it's fine. It's just the spirits. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, dragons reincarnate or some shit. Therefore, it is not a tragedy that you killed your mom.
God damn.
And yeah, so Dulcie's reward is a new black nose ring because okay.
So why does she need the ring though? She can breathe fire without it.
Fashion statements.
I guess just to say she's part of the clan.
Yeah,
Okay,
So,
that's dumb.
that's it. Good
That was
job,
fucking-
Dulcie. Good job.
Good
on
job,
the
Dulcie.
matricide.
You murdered your mother.
Oh, that was the
That's the fucking
matricide. I
matricide you've
completely
been
missed it.
talking about.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I've been trying to figure out what you were talking about.
See you in the reboot, buddy.
Jesus Christ!
Let's. I mean, it's really fucking funny, but not like good.
No,
Yeah, no, it's not.
but
good.
I mean, hey, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm
Because-
entertained.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, if these comics are gonna be bad, they can at least be entertainingly bad.
Well, speaking of entertaining, or maybe not, I don't know. Sonic number 157. Where's your gun?
That is just
Oh.
that is just the 1911 pose.
that's weird.
But, so we're in the home stretch. This is the final arc from Penders, and I have some nostalgia for this, which is different from necessarily it being good. We'll have to see.
Okay.
We're starting here with System Shutdown, Penders and Ron Lim. Dr. Eggman receives an ominous transmission declaring his system compromised and is forced to ask the heroes for help, although we don't actually start with that.
No, we got a certain black hedgehog.
Yeah, he's talking to himself about not knowing his past while running in some nondescript industrial buildings. Didn't we have an arc start that way already?
It does, and again, he does know his past?
I don't know what past Penders thinks that Shadow is searching for, because I don't think
Well-
it's just more information about Gerald.
This sure seems like a stealth start to a Shadow the Hedgehog adaptation.
This is...
I know it's
It
not.
would seem like
Well,
it.
here's the thing. It was gonna
It's
be,
sort of it. I know it's sort of. It was sort of supposed to be.
but Sega was like, no, we're not telling you any plot details. So,
That would have worked though, if you think about it,
Honestly,
because
yeah.
the readers would have been like, "What the heck is he thinking of? Like, what's missing?" And it's like, "Oh shoot, wait, the black arms, and it would have been like a big reveal. Like that's what Shadow.
That's
was
what I
searching
was
for.
expecting a fucking reveal like like that to happen.
Yeah. Instead, we have a remote island abandoned long ago by the Station Square military complex, which the editor's note describes as being from the SA2 issue. What? No, it's not. What? Is this Prison Island? Maybe?
I guess so.
I think it is.
They don't say that, so it might be. It would make sense, but they don't say it.
Yeah.
They have recordings of Gerald here, and
I would assume.
Yeah.
I think and
That's
it's the execution tape. It's not the execution tape, but
right.
No, I can't tell. Either way, I think it's Prison Island.
It probably is.
Also, Metal Sonic is here
for some reason.
Well, they just go together now. Shadow and Metal Sonic.
That's true.
Apparently. Maybe that's like
Shadow, Metal Sonic, and industrial buildings.
Maybe that's like the last ditch resort for like, oh, we need to make these comics popular. Just spam Shadow and Metal Sonic.
I mean, that's probably one way to do it.
I will say, like, I'm happy to see Shadow, and like the plot line is not horrendous. It's kind of weird, and maybe there's not a lot to it, but so I'm not completely displeased.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't mind seeing Shadow.
Yeah, Metal Sonic just instantly aggroes on him, and they start fighting. Shadow gets this like Mega Buster
that he doesn't actually use.
Yeah, he gets it, and
right.
then Metal punches him, and then Metal grabs it.
Yeah.
Okay, he tries to hit him with it, he misses, and Shadow, I guess, flings a rock at his head? Oh, no, okay, he flings a rock, it lands in the Mega Buster, which explodes and takes out Metal Sonic. And then M is just here?
Yes?
Yeah, she was back up for Metal Sonic, I assume.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, she's like, interesting, what do we have here? A hedgehog, but not Sonic. Did Eggman not fill you in on who Shadow was?
She's fought Shadow, hasn't she?
Has she?
She fought Sonic, and while she was doing that, Shadow went to kill Eggman.
Right, Shadow showed up, and I am like 90% sure that she saw Shadow.
Probably.
I mean, she probably saw him. Either way, it makes no sense that she doesn't have general access to all of Eggman's files.
Yeah, Eggman would have gotten her up to date on everything.
Yeah, but she drags them home. Apparently they were there for data files on what? Who knows? I assume something Gerald related, but
I don't know. But I love the way she drags Metal Sonic by his ankle.
Yeah,
perfect. She
also calls him the metal moron, so she like hates her brother.
Let's be honest, Metal Sonic's been mostly useless recently.
He hasn't. I mean, he's been just a punch monkey. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't really been anything beyond here. Metal, go do this thing that I could send a regular Badnik to do.
It's not completely illogical. If Eggman's going to make it so that Metal Sonic doesn't go crazy and suddenly act on his own, it would make sense to inhibit his thought function, so he'd be pretty.
Oh, sure, basic. Yeah. Basically, just make him punch robot.
Anywho, meanwhile, Eggman is woken up by an alarm saying his computer has to turn off for Windows updates.
Oh God! Damn, Eggman really should have
installed relatable.
Should have installed Linux.
True. That's a big reason too. Anyway, when I saw this, I was instantly pleased. Oh my gosh. Alternate costume, Eggman, let's go.
I do like seeing Eggman in something besides his regular outfit.
he looks ridiculous. I love it. His feet are huge though. What the heck?
I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised. Look at his regular boots. Those aren't boots.
Thought they were big boots.
I mean, are those boots or are those just part of his pants?
He has kind of a hunchback and really broad shoulders. It's just it's his drawings of the guy are odd in general.
These are probably the least odd Eggman drawings I've seen from Ron Lim. I'm gonna be honest.
The least odd potentially, but still odd.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, to be honest, they look mostly fine.
Yeah. Anywho, so there's a countdown timer saying that Eggman's gonna have his systems shut down. What does that mean? He asks Adam, and we don't know.
We cut to Bernie instead.
Yeah, Sonic is being an angsty bitch about Sally again, which,
Bro, you've got another girlfriend already.
That's true.
but Bernadette's like, no, he doesn't care about Fiona. He only cares about Sally.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Jules is like, what Sonic really needs is to not focus on fighting Eggman, which, excuse me?
No, that's
The
exactly what
problem,
he needs.
yeah, the problem is that he isn't focusing on that, and that's why
Yeah.
he's depressed. And like that's totally his jam. Whenever he's fighting Eggman, that is when Sonic is at his best.
Yeah, that's
Like
when
there's
he's in
no
his
exceptions to that.
elements.
yeah. Speaking of Eggman, he's troubleshooting different things that might be affecting his system with Adam, and his ultimate decision is to just take a ship directly to Knothole.
I like that Adam's first choice is to blame Snively.
It makes
Also
sense.
good.
I guess it makes sense.
He-
I think it's more just funny.
I like the idea that like Adam is like, no, you need to don't give Snively attention. He's like
Give me
jealous of him.
attention.
I could see that of Adam, honestly.
Because, like, between
Yeah.
that and, like, Mecha hating Metal Sonic, the idea that all of Eggman's cronies just, like, are competing for Daddy's love.
Jesus.
I love that. That's great.
So, yeah, big-ass egg lands directly in the middle of Knothole.
My point is proven instantly because Sonic is snapped out of his funk by seeing the Eggmobile
Yeah,
crap thing.
he's just like,
and he's
all
like,
right,
oh yeah, let's go.
it's time to do my thing.
And I sure wish he could. This part is so fucking stupid. Eggman walks out of his ship, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's Dr. Robotnik, blah, blah, blah.
What do we do with him?
And Tails is like, we gotta stop him. And Rotor has to open his big fat fucking mouth again and says, no, he's not hurting anybody, so we can't do anything until he does. This motherfucker tried to bomb you all days ago. What are you talking about?
There is no way that I can justify this. This just makes no sense. Yeah, this is completely out of character and
It
illogical.
is, yeah.
No defending it.
Why is it always Rotor? He was the one with the anti-gun thing as well.
It's true.
Penders
Does he
likes
want-
to use Rotor for some reason.
He wants him to be like a hyper-pacifist?
I guess he took the idea of Rotor being retired a little too incorrectly.
If we go with the idea that he still thinks he can make Rotor gay, then maybe he's like deliberately like wimping him up. That
God.
would be a shitty
Oh my
thing that I could see
God.
him doing.
I guess,
Uh,
yeah. Jesus.
Anyway,
There's actually a pretty cute moment between Sonic and his mom.
Oh yeah, I like this moment.
First of all, she's like, "Oh, come on, Sonic, don't leave. You gotta eat your meal." And he's like, "What, Mom? Now's really not the time." And she won't let up. But then he's like, "But I have to fight Eggman." And she's like, "Oh, why didn't you say so?" Like, yeah, she's a good mom. She knows
Oh, yeah.
when is the time.
Yeah.
Make him not be stupid, and when's the time for action.
yeah, and case in point, Eggman shows up right at Sonic's front door.
And judo throws him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they immediately go to punches in physical combat, which is very funny looking. I like that his entrance is, you were expecting maybe Princess Sally or one of your other girlfriends.
How does he know?
Oh,
He's
you
got-
gotta know. He
got
spies
spies
on
everywhere.
everything.
I guess he does.
He reads the forum discussions.
Well, God. But this just confirms my theory that he's actually just a gorilla.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Look at the way he's fucking built, first of all, but also like the way he fights.
what I'm amazed by this moment where I don't know what kind of spin Sonic is doing here. It looks like he's spinning while standing upright, like a
yeah.
tornado spin, and
Yeah.
Eggman just like bats him off by slapping him.
yeah. So I mean, this isn't actually Eggman. Like that was pretty obvious
Oh yeah, of course.
because there's no way that he would just walk in like that. And yeah, and then as soon as he started attacking Sonic, I'm like, yeah, okay. It's
Well,
not
here's the thing. So this is a hologram. I assume this is a hologram he's controlling, though.
Well, yes.
But is this like full body control, or is this?
Well, and how does he physically touch Sonic if he's a hologram? Can
Well,
he just become solid whenever he feels like?
solid holograms are a thing in science fiction.
And
I
he
know, but
says that's
Sonic also
exactly what
goes
it is.
through him. How do you turn that on and off? Whatever.
That's also a thing in science fiction. Star Trek Voyager is a perfect example.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
He's like,
yeah,
he's gonna
no.
go beyond warp 10 and turn into a lizard.
No, but he has a holographic doctor right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Anyway,
true.
also, case in point, Sonic is fighting hologram Eggman here. At no point does anyone like try to stop him because it would be wrong. Because shut the fuck up, Rotor.
Well, to be fair, he attacked Sonic, so therefore Rotor's fine with it.
Oh,
That's
you're
true.
right. Well, and the ironic thing in all that is Eggman's not actually here to fight.
That's true.
He just could not stop himself from attacking Sonic, even if he wasn't gonna take him out.
Yeah, he's actually here because he needs their help, and Sonic is like, oh, what could be trying to destroy Eggman, and also why would I help you? And Eggman's like, well, it's the unknown. At least you know what I can do.
This
True,
is
actually.
such no. I mean, that's
I
technically true, but it's not good
I understand
justification.
that. It's not great justification, but I do understand why that would get Sonic.
I think it's all about framing, because all we know so far is that a mysterious entity is trying to shut down Eggman's systems, and why that would matter to the heroes is pretty lame. They don't even know that it would be a threat to them. For all they know, it's someone who's trying to help them.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's just Eggman's word, more importantly. When they work
True.
together, it's usually because there's this big, huge threat that's threatening everyone. Like, this is not the way things go. It's not Eggman doesn't come over. This is like, I would think this is a trick, honestly, in
That's
their
fair,
position.
honestly.
Yeah, it should have been like a message that was sent to both parties that, like, I don't know, I'm gonna break down the barrier around Robotropolis and, kill you both with radiation or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so either way, they agree, they go in there, the torture justifications either way. In this panel, where they are inside the base, Eggman says, "Make yourselves comfortable while I access the electronic logs for our dear Rotor." And Sonic says, "Dear Rotor, he knows something I don't," and Rotor doesn't answer.
Which is interesting.
So this, I
Yeah.
think, is the closest thing to an explicit hint at Penders' Rotor's gay stuff. Now, it could be anything, but it is
Sure.
at least, there is something about Rotor that we don't know. Now, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but if that is true, then this would be foreshadowing Eggman trying to blackmail Rotor by outing him to his friends?
That's
I don't understand how... That doesn't make any sense. I didn't think about this line, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, no, because who
Neither did
cares?
I.
You guys only even pay attention to this because I'm bringing it up. It's just I'm continuing to illustrate how dumb it is that Penders wants admiration for this. I'm not sorry that plot line never happened.
I still don't even believe necessarily that was a plot line that was actually planned when it was being written. I needed to
Again,
just make
I
it
am
up
not
later.
unhappy that it didn't happen, whether it was meant to or not. Anywho, so we got to get to work, right?
right.
Too
What have we
bad.
been doing?
Rekka's here.
Yeah, M. She shows up and just bitch slaps Rotor across the room. And then she attacks Sonic and Eggman. So whatever is controlling the systems is controlling her now.
I was confused by this at first because Eggman looks shocked to see Mecha. Sonic is like, "What the heck? Why are you here? I thought you were destroyed." Has Sonic not seen Mecha since way
don't
back?
think he
when
has.
fought them?
I don't
I guess that's possible.
She hasn't been
Yes.
around much. She's mostly just
Not
hung out in
really.
the base for the most part. I don't know where she was during the whole Nanite City thing. Because she's not in that issue at all. You'd think she'd be standing around at least.
Yeah, but so at first I thought this was supposed to be like the writer screwed up, and this is supposed to be Mecha's return, but no. And Eggman's only surprised, I guess, because she just smashed her way in.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and speaking of confusion, Sonic tries to fight her, and fails, basically. She throws him into Rotor, and then she says that it's time for her father to pay for his crimes against the Kingdom of Acorn.
What the fuck?
Also, here's a bunch of Neo Metal Sonics.
Yeah, just a bunch of neo metals. I feel like it would be honestly more threatening if it was only one. A bunch of them makes them a lot less threatening for some reason.
It's the rule of multiple ninjas. You see a single ninja that's threatening.
Yeah,
You see an army of ninjas, you know they're gonna get mown down.
right. Fair, yeah.
And that's why the war arc of Naruto sucks. No, why did they market this issue around Shadow? He has nothing to do with any of this.
That is a good question, actually. That didn't even cross my mind.
But yeah, so very odd, and that's our cliffhanger. It's just there's a lot of neo metals.
I'll admit that line about, crimes against the kingdom of Acorn did make me want to read more. So
It
good
is
job,
intriguing.
Ken. Yeah, it's intriguing. So good job, Kenny.
I just saw Neo Metal Sonic, that's what made me
The
want to read
Neos,
more.
yeah, the Neos also got me as well.
It's a cool ass design. There's
It is.
no way.
Neo Metal.
Yeah.
Neo Metal looks rad.
I always have to give the comics credit for bringing up things that the games will never ever acknowledge again.
Yeah. Which
Well,
is a shame.
Sonic number 158, Fight Night, looks like a wrestling promo.
Yeah, or boxing promo.
But I do love this teeny tiny Eggman on the cover saying, "Touch me and I'll sue." Which is a
All right,
hilarious
Eggman.
thing to put on a Ken Penders comic.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's true.
That is true.
But this is part 2, System Reconfiguration, Penders and Ron Lim. Pandemonium strikes as the Legion of Metal Sonic troopers attack Eggman and Knothole indiscriminately, as the royalty struggles to hide people in the castle, and Sonic and Shadow have to fight off the troopers. So yeah, the Master is now in control, whoever that is. Eggman thinks that Snively might have done it, which you just had someone say the crimes against the Acorn Kingdom, so why would you suspect Whatever.
But does he know Snively's working with Knothole right now?
Yeah, he might know that.
I guess maybe.
To be fair, Snively wouldn't do this.
Well, that's totally true.
Or he would do that. He would use that terminology as a way to cover his ass, but that's it.
Fair enough. Yeah, so they take some swings at Eggman. He dodges while working on his little PDA thing to try and scramble M's brain so that she works for him again.
Yeah, basically, tries to reset her.
I'm sure he has a failsafe or something.
Sure. I mean, that makes sense.
So they basically manage to escape to this train that has the unconscious Shadow and Metal Sonic on it.
Yeah. I guess M used public transportation to get back.
I mean, it's Eggman, so I suppose, but...
Actually, yeah, fair.
Yeah, but it's funny, because Sonic and Rotor wake up, right? And they wake up to not being attacked, but the Metal Sonic's just beating the shit out of the base.
Hey, they're punishing Eggman for his crimes against the kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and one of them almost attacks Sonic, but another one stops him and says, "No, you're attacking Model 1."
Oh boy. That's that line also immediately got me interested.
Yes. I like this. I'm like, oh. So normally Metal Sonic hates Sonic.
Yeah, but
these Metal Sonics are like, oh, it's the original.
Yeah, they
we're all modeled after.
They almost revere him.
Yeah. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it gives Sonic and Rotor a chance to escape on, I guess, another egg-shaped ship. But Metal Troopers set out to find Eggman. Another case of these weird tornado spin formations. I'm not sure why they do that.
I think it's just supposed to show them going fast.
But he's very specifically tornado-shaped. I feel like just drawing the body would be easier than that. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
In any case, it's weird because they set out to find Eggman, but the next time we see them, they're just going to be attacking everybody?
Yeah, I don't...
Well, so, I mean, spoilers, but yes, that's true, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah. Eggman accesses M's data from maybe Prison Island, and he's like, "Aw, Shadow, how come you're attacking me? Don't you know my granddad created you?" And Shadow says, "What? No way."
What? No, you should know that. Are you kidding me? That's kind of very important in Sonic Adventure 2.
It's very important.
I kept trying to come up with explanations, but it's becoming painfully obvious that they don't know anything about Sonic Adventure 2. Penders knows nothing.
Well, Penders, I mean, I think we mentioned before that he's gone on record and said he has never played any of the games and views their stories as inferior.
I would expect him to at least have a plot summary, but apparently not even.
Matter, he just doesn't care. Because he also gets other facts wrong about the characters, like calling Maria Eggman's half-sister.
Yeah. So I think what it is that Penders' knowledge of Shadow is exclusively the one story he wrote for the SA2 issue with Maria's death. So whatever summary they provided that, and then he just didn't pay attention to what actually happened in SA2. If you look at this with the idea that, maybe Sonic and Shadow fought, and then, Shadow got, catapulted into space or something, and nothing else in SA2 even happened, and that's what happened. That's, the way that Penders is writing this.
Right.
So, yeah, it's all bullshit.
Right. That's, Also, what's a military-industrial entertainment complex? Those are...
It's BlackRock, but they make video games? I don't know.
That's like Lockheed Martin making video games.
I mean, the U.S. military does use Call of Duty to recruit, but...
I don't think they do anymore. They did previously, though.
They still have a Twitch channel, don't they?
I think they still fund Call of Duty games.
They had an esports team that streamed on Twitch that I think got bullied off of Twitch.
That doesn't surprise me.
Or anyway, either that or Twitter.
Yeah, in any case, Elias comes down this secret passageway. He says, "What the devil could be so important down here?" So I assume it's not a used one, but Chuck is here.
I feel like his mustache and eyebrows have gotten bigger.
They're gonna eclipse his face.
It is a weird way to draw him.
It is.
I don't hate it, I guess, but it's
no,
weird.
I don't mind it. It's just it's different than what we're used to.
Yeah, but we find out a big clue to what's going on here, because Chuck could not be any guiltier right now.
This is his thing, unfortunately.
It really is.
He says that a project from before Elias was king... My notes say before Elias was kind. Before Elias was king has activated and is out of control. So basically... when Sonic was in space, the idea came about that Knothole would still need a protector, and so Chuck had the metal troopers built in Sonic's image. I guess with help from Rotor? Which is weird.
Rotor should have known what's going on then.
Yeah, he was acting like he had no idea what these were.
Nice inconsistencies.
But when it turned out that Sonic was alive and home, they shelved the project.
Which... Why would they shelve the project? They're still useful.
It is odd, because, you can always use more protection for the kingdom.
The Freedom Fighters aren't always at Knothole, so why not have the Metal Troopers specifically be guards for Knothole?
And again, we just had a bombing attempt at a rock show.
Yeah, so, there's a clear need for security in the kingdom.
Well, and of course it's even if you think we shouldn't use this, because Chuck apparently was suspicious of this whole thing. He says, "This is one genie I'm glad we didn't let out of the bottle." If you are that suspicious of them, just have them destroyed.
Yeah, that's also true. Just melt them back down into slag.
That's true, actually. That is what he should have done, now that I think about it.
No, this entire sequence does not make any sense.
This is, I'm going to be honest. We love Chuck, right? Chuck is based, he's Uncle Chad, etc.
Yeah.
I can't hand it to him on this one, because...
No, this is the first really bad decision he's made.
Well, it's
well, I don't know if it's literally the first, but
either leave technology around that can be used to create killer robots, or don't.
Don't be half-assed about it.
Well, it's you'd think he learned his lesson after the roboticizer.
True!
But yeah, it's bad. So, in any case, he had a kill switch to keep them from going out of control, but obviously it's not working.
Right.
But when Shadow hears that Knothole is under attack, he gets moving because he's worried about Hope, who... Do you not... I thought you stopped caring about her because you realized she's not actually Maria.
I think at this
Yeah,
point
does
he's like,
Penders read his own comics?
I think he's kind of thinking more like she's the closest thing to Maria, so he has to protect her.
I guess.
Because they are still related. Actually, no, they're not.
They're not by blood, no.
Yeah.
It's a complete coincidence that they look so similar.
Yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. This is just stupid.
Yeah, so he makes it to... I don't know, is this Rosie's house, I think?
I think so?
Yeah.
Which is where Hope is, and there are 2 troopers there trying to kill Hope. Why? Who knows?
Because she's biological. They seem to have a hatred for biologicals for some reason.
Yeah, now they do. They didn't 2 scenes ago, but...
Well, they mentioned, the one trooper that was looking at Sonic specifically said, "You're a biological."
So I guess they'll kill organics, but not Sonic specifically?
Which tells me they would have to have been reprogrammed. Because Chuck wouldn't program them to do that.
I have absolutely no idea what the Metal Sonics are trying to do here.
The metal...
As I was reading, I thought it
Yeah.
was because they were related to Eggman.
Yeah, honestly, I thought Eggman, like, this was all just a ruse from Eggman.
Well, no. I meant not that
Mhm.
Eggman's behind it, because Hope is a relative of Eggman's, and they're here to
okay.
eradicate Eggman.
That would make sense, yeah.
I wish. That would be something, at least.
That would at least be a plot.
No, they're just attacking whoever, and Shadow just barely saves her in time. He jumps in front of 2 troopers that are about to attack her and, like, conjures a barrier?
Chaos
Uh-huh.
bullshit.
Well, that is exactly what it is, and
It
it's
is,
confirmed
yeah.
to be so later.
It's really hard to tell, because, like, that is one of the lamest looking barriers. The coloring is so bland.
Yeah, it should have been...
yeah.
It shouldn't have been blue, because the other half of the frame is blue.
Well, and this made me realize that I think Penders was trying to turn Shadow into a second Knuckles.
Oh,
This is Knuckles shit, just randomly getting powers and being like, how did I do that?
Well, to be fair, I think in the next issue he does say he knows he can do it, but usually he needs a Chaos Emerald.
So yeah, that is 100% what Penders is trying to do.
He did, but yeah, that does line up, though.
Yeah, it's not nearly as outrageous with Shadow. Now, if he was ramped up to, like, God level, I would have problems. But, like, this in of itself is not bad.
I think that's just a matter of Penders wasn't given enough time with Shadow.
Well, and...
Probably.
At least Sega's Shadow is already overpowered anyway, so...
Yeah, he's the ultimate life form.
Point,
he should be overpowered.
Yeah. So Sonic makes it to the same house when the Metal Troopers chase Shadow in, and Sonic smacks one of them, and it lands on Hope by accident, so that we can contrive a fight between him and Shadow.
Yeah, of course.
What the fuck? Once again, what the fuck?
You know. And speaking of what the fuck, what is this? Why are you still doing this?
Oh, good, more off panels because
Can we talk about
we all loved them?
Can we talk about how funny the title being Insider Treading is for this series? Yuji Naka, no.
They predicted it.
Gallagher and Monarch. Sonic and editor Mike Pallarito are attacked by Blackstage, a phantom of the opera who plans to sabotage the Sonic series' success by showing backstage footage.
This is a funny idea, but this is also just ripping off Who Framed Roger Rabbit's concept of... specifically the novel version.
I don't know what happens
of cartoons. Well, so instead of tunes making cartoons, they make comics instead.
Oh, weird.
I think that's the case in the novel. So, like, it's a cool idea.
Or it
This
would
is also
be if
really stupid.
this were not the lamest thing in the world. I want to
Oh yeah,
point
no,
out
this is
here
lame as fuck.
that above the title card it says, because Hugh demanded it, with an asterisk saying, Hugh is the guy who repairs our copy machine, but we thought you'd also like to see another off-panel story, which is like a fucking admission that they know nobody wants
No
this.
one fucking wanted this. They just wanted to do more.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Anyway, yeah, so movie and Hollywood iconography all over this, despite it being comic book. They show all of these little jokey joke special effects behind the scenes for various old comic scenes, and they're really old comic scenes.
Yeah.
These are some deep callbacks. Like, I was kind of surprised. I forgot that the king was Crystal for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's the
it's also-
latest that they
It's also the
reference
wrong
here
color of crystal.
is maybe
Yeah.
Super Special 15 is the newest comic that they reference here. And that's hilarious because they go on about stunt doubles in this one. You'd think that if they were going to go about on anything, it would be the fact that that comic has barely any artwork in it.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely one of those bank stories where it was written with Gabri in mind and then they just changed it to Mike.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
But I like the what the fuck is this guy called again? Black Stage? Apparently, showing all of this off is meant to drive audiences away from the series, which is hilarious because if you want to drive audiences away, all you have to do is keep making this.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I do almost appreciate the conclusion here because Sonic and Pellerito deduce we don't have any problem. Because Sonic fans will buy fucking anything.
Yep.
God. They're really just calling them out.
They're calling us out, except we don't pay for the game sometimes, but that's okay. Actually, you can't pay the creators of these comics for these comics anymore because they're out of print and don't have the license anymore. But
Damn.
so they make this guy fuck off or whatever, and we end on a dumb joke about Sonic being bad at singing. May they never do this garbage again.
God, I hope.
No words. Let's move forward. Sonic number 159. We made it, lads. This is the final Sonic the Hedgehog comic featuring stories written by Ken Penders and artwork by Ron
Holy
Lim.
shit. Two of the low points are leaving at the same time.
Several of them. We're not going to see Nelson Ribeiro again. We're not going to see Al Bigley again. We're not even going to see Art Mawhinney again, and I don't even necessarily have a problem with him.
Man, I'll miss Bigley's art, gonna be honest.
We're technically not saying goodbye to all of these people immediately because Penders does do like inks and lettering for a couple stories in the Flynn era.
Oh, really?
I assume just as he was transitioning away from the job. And I believe there's one more bank story from Romy Chacon in the Flynn era, but it's pretty harmless. The point is, there is a huge exodus of staff members after this issue,
Right.
and the next one will take over with a fair amount of new blood. And, well, frankly, you can see why, because, again, these issues have been kind of funny or had some hilarious bad moments, but they're kind of a mess.
Honestly,
they're kind of a mess, but I have to admit, they've still been kind of interesting.
yeah, I mean, these rank a little above average, I would say, for the comics in the long run, and they have often been a mess. So, like,
Yeah.
if these had gone on for a little while longer, I wouldn't have been like, man, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Maybe. All that being said, I do love this cover. I think it's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, this is a great cover.
Oh, yeah, that cover's rad.
I have to wonder if they took any inspiration from the Brotherhood of Metallics from Sonic the Comic when, you know, having the idea for a bunch of Metal Sonics. But
That is exactly what came to mind, yeah. So, maybe.
Yep. See you guys in several months when we talk about those. I also love the teeny tiny mascot Titan medal on the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
a wind-up
fun.
toy. But yes, this is the last issue of the arc. System Reboot, Penders and Ron Lim. With Hope injured and time wasted on squabbles, Sonic and Shadow have to rush to Castle Acorn to defeat the Metal Troopers. And, yeah, they waste time fighting.
Yeah, they gotta rush. Let's beat the shit out of each other real quick.
I like that Yeah, they're doing that, and like we all know it's really stupid. And Rosie is like, "You idiots! Why are you fighting? Stop!" And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, right, yeah, hold on. We got
Yeah,
shit to do.
there are killer robots on loose, and this is about the most nothing that they could fight over. Like, yes, okay, I'm sorry that Hope got hurt. He obviously didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah.
But, it's because Shadow's the new Knuckles. They have to have random arbitrary fights.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you, Rosie, for telling them being fucking stupid. And, yeah, they get out of there. I'm realizing now that, I don't think Shadow has been running with his, air shoes. He just kind of runs the same as Sonic.
He does.
But, yeah, we get a look at Chuck, who is obviously really upset that this next invention of his, yet again, causing undue suffering, yada yada yada. Rotor is like, nah. Like he says, it's not your fault that bad people utilize dangerous things. Which, Rotor, is this not the opposite of your attitude towards guns?
Hmm.
Well, think
What?
about it. Isn't the entire argument about guns being that it doesn't matter, like whether or not there's a responsible gun owner, or whether having them around is grounds for someone to be irresponsible? I feel like Rotor is the guy who Penders is making hate guns, and he would say, like, oh, we shouldn't have weapons like this. But instead, it's like, no, it's not your fault that someone else stole them.
Rotor's point is that the king ordered this project, not Chuck.
Right.
So that's why it's not his fault.
It's still Chuck's problem for leaving them unsecured. Or not
It
enough
was,
secured.
you know, I'm gonna just throw everything on the king because the king sucks and he's not here to object.
Yeah,
He's
I think
really
I can agree
ill.
with that.
I'll just say the king told him to not trash him too.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think I'll agree
whatever.
with that.
So, Eggman notes that the troopers destroyed a system and then randomly turned around and attacked Knothole instead. We still don't know the reason for this, but Shadow chaos controls himself, Sonic, and Hope to the castle, where the troopers are trying to break through the wall.
I do really like that Eggman is like, what the heck? Why all this destruction? And I had nothing to do with it. But then he like looks for a few seconds longer. He's like, although this destruction is actually pretty great, and then he's suddenly happy again.
Yeah, it is funny, but yeah, they're asking, what the hell is going on, and Elias is like, well, I didn't do it. Go fight him. I guess that's as good a response as Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
So, yeah, so is it, our big conflict is Sonic goes out and fights all of the metal troopers, all of them, all at once.
Yeah, once again, Sonic has to do everything for everyone.
It's like that Matrix fight with all the Agent Smiths.
Yeah.
And just like that, Sonic needs to be bailed out by Shadow and the Chaotix. And I realized that I was wrong before. There was exactly one more time that Penders wrote dialogue for present era Knuckles.
Oh yeah.
But he gets a rockin' 5 lines. He's fine.
It's fine. It's not bad.
It's actually
Also-
interesting because Knuckles announces himself as Knuckles the Echidna of the Chaotix. So like that's his thing now because he's completely abandoned Angel Island because he's just sick of all that nonsense. Now
Good
he's
for
just
you,
the
Knuckles.
Chaotix. Which good for him.
Yeah. Also, he's introducing himself to Shadow, but that's just another on the pile of you should know each other. But
They probably met.
yeah. But
I mean, I would believe that a little more, but yeah, I mean, we've seen each other, so.
yeah. So what's weird is that the end of the actual fight is skipped over.
Yeah.
We see the heroes say, "All right, let's finish this," and then we cut to Sonic walking back after the fight.
Yeah, and then we get more filleting Sonic's ego, which is...
They gave him a medal for stuff we didn't even see, and also that other people helped with.
Well, because Shadow and Knuckles fucked off.
Yeah, I don't know where they went. Well, I guess I don't know where Knuckles went. Shadow, we do get one little coda for him. I'll say this. This last page is not that bad. I actually kind of like the way that Shadow is leaving on his own. Sonic gives him a little glance and a don't be a stranger, and he even cracks a smile.
He also calls him Faker.
Yep.
I love that. They're just casually like bringing that up, like it doesn't bother them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I want to make clear, Shadow is going back to Eggman's here. I didn't even notate it because it's really hard to figure out, but he's actually working with Eggman in these.
Yeah, they don't make.
issues.
I don't think they make it clear in this at the end of this that Shadow just went back to Eggman.
Yeah, but
Wasn't there? Oh, well, okay. So Eggman did say you'll work with me because I'm related to Maria,
Yeah,
and I
he
don't know if
did.
we see Shadow accept, but you can infer that.
yeah, but this whole ending is spoiled by Chuck transforming into Locke and revealing he was spying on Shadow the whole time.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm kidding. I don't know if that's legit, but we've got the brain trust now. Maybe they're the Brotherhood.
Oh God, maybe they are.
I don't know how far we're gonna push this, but anyway, that's the end of Penders, right? No.
No. Not only do we have more Penders, we have him drawing now.
Yes, the final Penders story for this series is called Insidious, starring Dr. Robotnik, written and drawn by Penders. And,
Holy crap.
Well, Adam and Eggman discuss the nanites and make future plans to invade the Freedom Fighters using Bunny, Nicole, and Tommy's technological components. And it's just a recap of shit we already saw.
That's true.
Mostly.
A little,
but
yeah.
He also like, oh hey, wait a minute. I can just use these nanites still, and now I can use it to like take control of them in a manner you may consider insidious. So like it's setting up like a plot hook for future stories is what's the point of this. But like I don't know why you have to do it in so many pages.
Yeah, I'd
Once
rather
again,
just see him go through with the plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's better when you don't reveal what you're gonna do before you do it when you're a villain, because then there's a cool surprise. We don't need this. Also, Adam's just back. Like I didn't mention this before, but we kind of touched on how the previous story didn't explain and kind of resolved really quickly. Like they didn't resolve the whole thing with the Neo Metals, who was controlling them, and now Eggman's just back in control, and yeah, sure, everything's back to normal now. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Fair enough, I guess.
And together, we truly were a Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 159.
Okay.
All right then.
Sorry. But that's it, we did it. We reached the end of the tunnel, we've seen the light. I will miss the good issues that Ballers made and some of the okay ones that Penders made, but not that much. We have traded both of them in for the age of Ian Flynn. This is Sonic the Hedgehog number 160, Out of the Blue. That's not the name of the story, but look at that cover. This is crazy, right? Because this is the first Sonic issue that I actually picked up from like any of the newer comics. And it was just by coincidence it was this one.
What a perfect first issue to grab.
I know, and there are a lot of people nowadays who start with this issue, not because it's necessarily the best jumping on point, although it's not a bad one. It's like it's kind of a skim the previous issues and then start with this one case.
Kind of, yeah.
But it must have been crazy for fans back in the day to go from what Archie has become through all these to easily the most prolific and well-respected creative team in the franchise.
Right.
And we're not going to be abandoning most of these established plot lines. So, we
just have a competent writer working on them.
Yeah, the late 2000s era of the comics is going to be a heck of a thing. And it all starts here with Birthday Bash, Part 1, written by Ian Flynn and drawn by Tracy Yardley. Sonic is thrown a surprise birthday party by both his friends and his enemies. Meanwhile, evil Sonic takes a present for himself.
That is a great summary.
That is
like
a really good summary.
So we start off with an amazing bit of a narrative sleight of hand. Because I love that our first line in this issue is Elias saying, "So you can see why my father approved the Metal Sonic Troopers." Because A, that puts the blame on the King Max, like Lauren was saying. And
right.
B, we don't actually have to contrive an explanation for why that is.
Right, I can definitely appreciate that.
And new artwork. This looks way more like Uekawa's style than most previous artists.
God, I love Yardley's art.
Yeah, it's a little unrefined right now, but it's gonna get better.
Right now it is, but like I've been reading early IDW stuff, and that's what brought me to loving Yardley's art.
Yeah, and no, just the dialogue has a significantly different feel, obviously because it's written by a different person.
It
But
feels more like something you would actually hear in one of the games.
I don't know if I'd go that far because the games don't have great writing either. But
No, but it doesn't feel out of place compared to them.
yeah, but we're bringing up little things. Ian Flynn loves his
Yeah.
little cheeky references, like the Great Oak Slide. We haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're closing off the last issue with a celebration, but the celebration is it's the classic underground base.
Yeah. Neat.
Little way of keeping the heroes in Robotnik's sight away from civilians.
Yeah.
And it's a birthday party for Sonic. All his friends are here. I like the okay. I don't like Fiona and Sonic together. I don't get it. I do like Amy's reaction to that, to be kind of bored and annoyed.
That would be her reaction to like Sonic with anyone else.
Yeah,
Anyone but herself.
I like watching her be like kind of a snooty child.
Yeah.
I will say I do respect when writers don't just completely trash whatever the previous writing team was working on. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad that we're
That's
not just dumping
I guess.
everything that's been worked on up until this point.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about Flint. I feel like I may have overhyped him in some aspects. There will definitely be moments we dislike from him, but the fact that he doesn't like to throw things in the garbage is a cool bit.
Yeah.
And as Sally puts it, she says, a step back to simpler times. And she's speaking, I think, as much on the behalf of the comic as the characters.
It really does feel like that.
yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, because, from here on out, it is fun action series. We're putting fun first.
Good.
And no more is that visible than the celebrations being broken, not by some tortured war machine left over from Sonic's absence, not by a sci-fi pastiche, but by Bark and Bean from Sonic the Fighters.
Right off the bat, introducing just introducing characters from the games, especially from Sonic the Fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. What the heck?
I love that,
That's
especially having loved Sonic the Fighters so much. It's
and
fucking
this,
awesome.
This series is really what makes them the characters that they are, because they didn't have much in that game.
Not really.
And importantly,
They just had fun designs.
in the modern classic series, so to speak, that is to say Mania and the newer classic comics, there's still these, lovable dork villains, which is interesting because in Sonic the Fighters, they weren't villains. So Flynn just kind of created that, and the official stuff ran with it.
I hadn't even thought about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. But Bean is this goof-ass, bomb-loving jerk with his head in the clouds, and Bark is this big, mute bruiser.
I guess Bean talks enough for both of them.
Yep.
Yeah, he really likes his wordplay, and he sings the little parody birthday song.
I love Bean so much here.
Here come your birthday spankings. I do think that they have an interesting bit. They start fighting Sonic, obviously, because that's what.
Of course.
Bark breaks off a piece of the oak slide and smacks him with it.
Yep. I feel that went from facing Bark in Sonic the Fighters, I must say.
Yeah, he hits hard in that game too. I want to note another good moment of communication between the writers and audience. Tails catches Sonic, and Sonic says, "Evil Sonic did a lot of stuff under my name. I've managed to get the girls to understand, but..." And that is such a good thing to put in your very first issue, the very first scene of your first issue.
Yeah.
Because it means we're not doing any of the shit that Penders wanted for that. Instead, it's just, we talked it over, it was rough, but we made it out.
We figured it out.
And Sonic tries to get Bean and Bark to understand, because whatever evil Sonic did, it's not me. Speaking of which, here he is.
I love the new jacket and shoes.
Okay, so I don't actually. It's a little over the top. Like, relay flames on your jacket? Like, I don't know. It's just like Evil
mean-
Sonic had like I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to the old look. It's a little too loud. Like I
I mean, I think-
always thought of him as like more laid back until he gets riled up. But no, like now with that jacket, he just.
I guess to me, the
much.
problem is that Evil Sonic always felt like he was a nothing character, and his design didn't help.
I think Evil Sonic, his whole deal, right, is that he is bad Sonic, but he's not a mastermind. He's not any kind of big villain.
No,
And so
I mean,
for that,
that's,
having
that's
him
why
just,
for a while all we were seeing him do was committing petty crimes.
and so having him look like a lame greaser punk kind of, I think, worked well enough for that.
Right.
But I also think that giving him a more, radical redesign fits the fact that he's about to become a more radicalized character.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll say I don't mind this jacket later, but right now I don't. Kind of.
So you would have had
fair.
you would have had him keep his old clothes, but then after this issue, get new ones.
That's kind of fair.
This in between version, I don't like this design. Personally,
I can understand that. That's fair.
Okay, I'll say yes to that. Anywho, he's trying to steal the Master Emerald again with Rouge.
You mentioned this, and yet they're still doing it. What?
Actually, I say this. He's trying to steal the Master Emerald, and then Rouge is trying to also steal the Master Emerald. They're not actually working together.
They are, but they just didn't coordinate well.
Yeah, Rouge says the deal was you distract him this time.
Yeah, and Evil Sonic's like, I didn't see him, so I figured he'd gotten to you already, so... Well, wait, was he supposed to be the one making out with Locke? No, In any case,
Sure.
Locke is here, and he's gonna wreck house.
He's just... Locke is legitimately angry now, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, they keep doing this.
The
They
third
won't take a
goddamn
hit.
time.
Yeah. But we cut away from that to, Fiona being an actual character under Flynn. Specifically, she subdues Bean by jangling keys at his face.
This is great. The bird likes the shiny things. Can't help himself.
He's like
Bean is such a silly guy.
He's like an evil version of Sega's version of Charmy.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Like, he's just a child. But then, after she does this, Sonic's like, how did you know that would work? And, yeah, it's like we're getting little hints to the fact that, Fiona used to be, like, a criminal. So she knows these guys.
Mm.
And it looks like Antoine manages to subdue Bark, so good on you, Antoine.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And, Bean lands out in the front yard, and, hi, Shadow.
He does get the keys. Yeah, Shadow takes in the trash.
That's my favorite, bit of this, is that Shadow comes inside holding Bean, and he says, happy birthday, Blue Hedgehog. I cleaned your yard for you.
I love this recurring gag between Bean and Bark showing up, and then Shadow now, yeah, here's your birthday gift, Sonic.
Yeah, here's your birthday gift. I just found him.
Yeah. But Sally actually chews Fiona out for knowing who they are, which sucks, because he just helped you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's actually them setting up an actual conflict, so it's not just her being shitty, thankfully.
Yeah, I can... If that's actually setting something up, which I kind of figured it was, that's not bad.
Locke manages to hold his own against Rouge and Evil Sonic, which I guess I can believe that. He overpowered himself.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's very reasonable, because as Sonic puts it, you gotta hit him before he uses his wacky voodoo, which is a very good way of putting the Chaos Emerald nonsense.
Yeah. I guess it's that at least as far as this comic goes, we haven't got a great feel for Rouge's abilities. Because I would think that, given that Flynn knows SA2, Rouge and Knuckles are supposed to be on par.
Right.
I don't think Evil Sonic is that much of a problem, because, Antoine can beat him, so... But, Evil Sonic has a plan to let Rouge take the fall for him, and he starts leeching energy from the Master Emerald.
That's very clever that, oh yes, wait, Evil Sonic is Sonic, so it's his birthday, too, so he gets a birthday present.
Of course, the birthday boy gets to choose his present.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't see it here, but Locke's punch actually does manage to wound him, When we see this guy
Right.
later, I was like, where does he get that scar? It's because luck hits him here.
Right.
But I like this little exchange between Shadow and Sonic that we see in the next scene, where they talk to each other like sort of friendly rivals.
So what's the occasion, faker? I love how he's casually throwing that around.
Yeah, but he thanks him for his help with the Metal Troopers, but is still working with Eggman. I guess we're just not abandoning that just yet.
I mean, I guess we should have a good reason for Shadow to abandon it.
Yeah, but I love the character writing. Sonic's like, feel free to get
Yeah.
a clue and quit Eggman anytime, though. And Shadow's like, worried? You wish, Faker.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, during all of this, we've lost Bean again.
Yeah, he just went into the other room and called Dr. Eggman.
That is it's such a ridiculous idea that he just stole their phone and dialed Eggman essentially. Sure, I guess you could do that, but he picked up two. Yeah, and now they're talking and they're using sure.
Well, and
Bean doesn't
called-
even look very entertained talking to Eggman.
No, he called Eggman to tell them that they lost. And then he's like, well, you're still there, go win. And Vito's just like, Bean, go sit with Mark, and he does.
Aww.
I don't know why Eggman hired them, but he doesn't seem cut out for this kind of work.
He hired them because Knack is still in prison.
No options.
Yeah, they were his
I
only
gotta
option.
go with the budget bounty hunters.
Yeah, I guess so. Goddamn.
But Eggman's like, fine, I'll throw something together to land on you guys.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of this, Lauren?
This is great. Are you kidding me? I hope you guys didn't forget about Crocbot and he's back again.
It's
Crocbot-
goddamn Croctobot, baby.
Crocbot and Octobot stuck together.
Yeah,
This
that's
is-
just to add some extra silliness to this, which, I mean, this has been a pretty silly story, so sure.
Yeah, no,
It's about sending a message, and the message is fun.
yeah, the tone is completely changed.
This-
For the better. 100% for the better.
Yeah, well, it's fun, but also we're not gonna forget the past.
Sure,
we'll-
yeah. Well, there's
we'll
no reason to
reinvent
forget
it
the
in silly
good
ways.
stuff. There's no reason to forget a lot of this stuff. There's been fun stuff previously, or
Yeah.
silly stuff, or just cool stuff,
Case in
like
point.
Croctobots.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's half the cliffhanger. The other half is on
It's
the other
the
side of the
goddamn
story.
Grinch.
Evil Sonic has given up the name Sonic. This is Scourge the Hedgehog.
Oh boy.
This is the most famous transition from Archie under the early era to the late era. He has gone from a bad boy to this aggressive, edgy freak.
Freak might be a good way to describe him.
We looked at DeviantArt Sonic recolors and decided, what if we made that an evil badass? And it's crazy because this is a corruption of the evil Sonic idea, but it's
Right.
also kind of a Gruckles because he's
A little
gotten
bit, yeah.
hopped up on chaos juice and turned green.
That's interesting, yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't
You're
think
right.
about that either. That's interesting.
Now, why that changes the color of his sunglasses or where he
Or
gets
his
those,
shoes.
Yeah,
It
I don't know.
not just changes the color of his sunglasses, it changes the type of sunglasses he has. Because Evil Sonic's always had aviators.
Actually, he just wasn't wearing them here, so maybe he just had those.
He,
in his
yeah,
pocket or something.
he didn't have them at all. But like, he's always had aviators, and now he's got like red sports sunglasses.
Yeah, but he is going full cool kid mode.
Goddamn right he has.
And well, we're gonna see more of this guy later, quite a bit later, in fact. Because
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
this is a wacky, fun Cocoa Bananas crazy main story. But we are still doing 2 stories in an issue. But I'm not super sad about the second story because
Yeah.
it's Sonic Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So we just got a Sonic the Fighters adaptation. Now we get a Sonic Rush adaptation. Wow, we're eating good.
Damn,
Yeah.
2 game adaptations.
And as much as I did enjoy Tanya Del Rio's work with Sally and Nicole, this is not her strongest showing. It's okay. It's a little weird. This is the Sonic Rush story. It's her writing and drawing as before.
Right.
But I did not add a description to this. That's weird. I don't normally forget to add plot summaries for other writers. Usually it's just Penders. But yes, Blaze the cat shows up in Sonic's dimension and ends up kidnapped by some Eggman robots.
It's cool to see Blaze, but I don't know
Yeah.
why they changed like the plot hook. Now
Yeah,
she's
that's
here because there was like a vision that
Right.
showed her she has to come to Sonic, which lame.
right.
She's been
Yeah.
having dreams about him and needs him to keep the Sol Emeralds safe.
Which,
Also,
you
they're
know,
drawn as
You could
Chaos
do that.
Emeralds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of Chaos Emeralds, which, sure.
Oops.
Yeah, and it is a bit odd because it's kind of the opposite of Blaze because her whole thing is that I'm doing this alone. I don't need Sonic.
Right.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to share the responsibility. She just feels like she's supposed. I don't know. It's odd, but I don't know. It's a little weird because these are normal ass SWAT bots here. We haven't seen them in forever.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have not seen regular ass SWAT bots in a really long time.
That's bizarre.
She mops the floor with them, of course. They think she's a
Yeah.
boy for some reason. I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, I don't get that because they just scanned her, so you'd think like they'd know everything about her biologically, at least.
Well, she's also not exactly the most androgynous design.
Not particularly.
So that's odd, but it's okay because Sonic is invading an Eggman base that happens to be the one that she's being taken to.
How convenient.
Yeah, it's certainly convenient.
And actually, Rotor does notice on the scanner that they're taking somebody away, so Sonic is going
Right.
out for this express purpose.
It's just convenient that it happens to be Blaze is the one that they're taking away.
Well, also I don't know why they made a base right next to Knothole like that.
I don't know what's up with these robot designs. This robot doctors don't look like Eggman robots at all.
They don't. I'm trying to figure out what they look like because they look like something
really
I
familiar, and I'm trying to think where I've seen them.
Yeah,
Like Futurama, maybe?
I'm thinking Futurama.
Or like some kind of like educational kids cartoon with robots in it?
Maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know. Futurama might be educational.
I mean, it can show you how the future might suck. I don't know. But it's very odd because, Sonic invades there. Blaze wakes up and gets mad that they took off her coat.
Yeah, what?
Oh.
I didn't know she was so attached to it.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and she explodes into fire, which is awesome, actually, but...
Well, yeah.
She blows
Hell
all
yeah,
the robots apart, blows the door off the room, and then is like, you, looking at Sonic. And that's another cliffhanger. So I was realizing, as I was notating this, man, this might have been better to cover as part 1 of the Dark Age Archie series, rather than the last episode of Adventure Era Archie.
Oh,
It
yeah,
sets up a
definitely.
lot more things than it concludes.
Probably.
But that being said, it is such a breath of fresh air that, like, I don't
Yeah.
mind that much.
No, I'm glad we did it.
It's cool to see where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so those are our hooks for I don't know, like more than a year from now at this point. You guys are allowed to read ahead if you want, obviously.
I mean, I've already been reading ahead, so it's fine.
Yeah, it can certainly make you want to, but
Yeah.
that's it for Archie for right now. And Adventure Era Archie was rough.
Yeah, I think you've pointed out that it was shorter than the classic era, but by God, did it feel longer.
Yeah.
I think that Classic Era had a lot more throwaway jank stories, that were just like, they look kind of bad or they were pretty basic in their construction. They went very in-depth in this era, but their methods of doing that was to piss us off more.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, yeah, I am glad to be over this.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad to be into stuff that's more competent.
Yeah, but that's it. I'm not sad that I did it. I'm glad that we did it.
Oh yeah, no. My
There was
theory
still
about reading these comics, 'cause I did want to read them at some point, even before we started this podcast, was that I would start from the beginning and go from there.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, when
Well,
you said some people start out from 160, like,
I can
understandable,
understand.
but also you wouldn't get the full experience if you did
No,
that.
I can totally understand wanting to because oh my god, sometimes these comics made me want to like fucking Kermit.
I
But for the most part,
people are not going
it's
to
like
understand that reference.
it's
No, but
fine. It's fine. You don't worry about it. Anyway, but like I'm glad I did to because getting to this point feels all the sweeter.
exactly. That is the ultimate thing, is that Ian Flynn's comics are pretty good on their own. But with
Yeah,
the context of everything that came before them, they are a love letter, really, to the previous
yeah,
plot lines, which you can only get by having a writer that is not spiteful toward the previous work in most respects.
right. Yeah,
Um, and I am very, very glad for it. And I'm glad that Flynn has continued to have a successful career with the franchise, honestly.
yeah. I mean,
I
yeah.
agree.
It's great to see Flynn working on the games now,
Yeah.
or at least one of them.
Two of them, at least. Because he
He
wrote.
did. That's right. He did work on Superstars, right? Or was he
Oh,
actually
I
involved in
guess that.
Superstars?
You know what? Counting. Four, I think, as of this writing, because it would be
Okay.
Frontiers, Superstars.
All
He
right.
actually worked on the cutscenes for Origins and
Oh, okay.
Dream Team.
Oh, that's right. He worked on Dream Team. Yeah, of course.
But Dream
Okay,
Team
so
is not a
yeah,
real video game, so.
Dream Team
Right,
doesn't exist.
definitely.
You cannot prove to me Dream Team exists.
Well,
Wait, I have a
maybe.
MacBook with Dream Team on it. Never mind.
Well, the number will be back up to four later this year when Sonic X Shadows Oiled Up Twerk Off Generations comes
Fair,
out. He's
yeah.
writing for that one. So,
Fair enough.
anywho, we have gotten off topic, but that is because we are done. We are done with comic books for the time being.
Holy
And by the time
crap.
being, I mean exactly one cartoon, and then we're doing the Fleetway comics.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Well,
they're different.
those are real comics. These were
That's-
something else.
These were a fucking nightmare sometimes.
Yeah, Archie is certainly varied, but that is going to be it. The next time you see us, we'll have a bonus video going over some of the canceled plans and ranking the specials and milestone issues of Archie Sonic. But the next proper numbered episode shall be the beginning of Sonic X, which
Oh boy.
is exciting?
A
Question
show.
mark? Maybe it's not that. I've been
Which
enjoying what I've reviewed to some extent.
it is in fact a show.
But with all that said, that is it for tonight. Thank you, both of you guys, for being here and reviewing these with me. And thank you to our wonderful audience for watching. If you have any questions, comments, criticism, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the link trees shown in the description, any of the links in the link tree. I'm still not good at outros. And if you like this video, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you next time. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great night. And take care.